Okay, here it is. The big one.
The big one. It's 420.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right, welcome to the Daily Stoic interpretation series. Let me get us to the right page. Here we are. It is April 20th, and our monthly theme is unbiased thought. And today's entry is real good is simple.
Real good is simple.
Real good is simple.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Marcus Aurelius has a quote for us today. Here's a way to think about what the masses regard as being good things. If you would first start by setting your mind upon things that are unquestionably good: wisdom, self-control, justice, courage. With this preconception, you'll no longer be able to listen to the popular refrain that there are too many good things to experience in a lifetime. You want to break it down a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm thinking about it. It's just yeah. Let's go through it. It's kind of a long or something. Okay.
Yes. So he calls out 4 things as being unquestionably good.
Mm-hmm.
Those 4 things are wisdom, self-control, justice, and courage.
Mm-hmm.
I believe these 4 things are the 4 main virtues in Stoicism.
Mm-hmm.
And these are actually the themes of Ryan Holiday's book series. So Discipline is Destiny that we just read refers to the self-control that he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So wisdom, self-control, justice, and courage. Courage is Calling, I think, was his first one in the series.
Mm-hmm.
So he's done 2 and he's still going to do 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Aurelius is saying, if you would first start by setting your mind upon things that are unquestionably good, those 4 things, then you'll no longer be able to listen to the popular refrain that there are too many good things to experience in a lifetime.
Got it. Okay. That's what I missed there. So it's the 4, he's saying like start with those 4 things, and everything else between is can be really,
You can disregard
them, yeah. And people are, is he saying like, oh, life is full of so many good things, but he's saying like, no, it's only these 4 things that are the
really
core
good
of the
things.
good or something.
Yeah. Because everybody has their own definition for what a good thing is. And so this is his definition.
I like that, like core of the good or something. Like it's like yeah, cool.
So if we want to just get clear about what those 4 things are, the wisdom is the theme of this month, essentially, unbiased thought. What is actually true versus what is some level of deception.
So wisdom is almost like not just book smart, but also like smart with what?
I mean, seeing things as they are.
Seeing things as they are, yeah. Acknowledging that, acknowledging how things are, yeah.
Seeing things as they are, not as I wish them to be, or not as I delude myself into thinking that they are.
Yeah.
And that's the tricky one, because the self-deception often flies under the radar. Mm-hmm. So there can be self-deception going on, but I'm not aware that it's going on. So that's the part of the whole thing that always strikes me as my biggest takeaway from this stuff, is like being able to recognize self-deception when it's happening. Because there are times when I think I'm already seeing the situation clearly, and then a new piece of information enters the picture that reveals that no, in fact, I was not looking at this the way it actually is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So that's the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is self-control.
Self-control.
Is that pretty self-explanatory for you?
Yeah. Self-control means controlling the things that you have control over.
Yeah. And which day was it? Oh, it was actually yesterday. Was the sphere of our impulses. And so yesterday it was also Marcus. He was saying like your impulses, they need to be subject to reservation, aka self-control.
Mm-hmm. So I have to also exercise them, not just know about them, but also like do these 4 things, not just like, oh, I know these things in theory, but it's actually like doing them, exercising them. Something about, you know?
Yeah, except for we were just talking about the self-control, not all 4 things. So we were just talking about one of the 4 things.
One of the 4
but are
things.
you saying like using self-control, the one of the 4 things, to make sure that you're looking at all 4 of the things?
No, just look. No, I was just talking about the control over what we have control over. You know. But I
control of our impulses. Because I was
Yeah.
also looking at
You got
yesterday's
it.
quote,
Mm-hmm.
which was the sphere of our impulses. And this is the same thing he's talking about here with self-control. Is yesterday he was talking about impulses, we need to make sure they're subject to reservation. So we need to scrutinize an impulse as it enters our system and make a conscious decision about whether or not to act on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just drawing the parallel between what self-control means in today's entry and what he was trying to talk about yesterday.
Yeah.
The third one is justice. And this is interesting because wisdom is maybe the ability to see things correctly, and justice is
to act upon them.
To act upon your wisdom.
Justly.
Right, because wisdom is just already.
Yeah. So, and I'm also looking at it like maybe like you can like putting yourself into the role of a judge, and you see now you see those 2 parties, and now you can be more just, right? Because you're saying, well, it's not just about me, or it's not just about this other person, it's about everyone.
Yeah, and that bleeds into wisdom again, because wisdom you have to
have this thing
judge.
Of like, hold on, I gotta step back to become that.
Right.
But maybe becoming that is the justice.
Right.
Like
the doing.
You're actually doing it, and you're saying, hey, you know what? I also need to be part of it. Like, it's not about like I make all the money and no one else does, right? It's like, it has to be some sort of a balance. And also not the other way. Oh no, they will get everything and I will not get anything. That's also not fair. So
nor wise.
Nor wise, yeah.
And then the fourth one is also a doing one. If justice is kind of a doing one, courage is the last thing, which is also a doing one.
Mm-hmm.
And courage is getting at more of like being able to do things even when I'm afraid of doing them, or even when they feel difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
Courage is the thing that is summoned to actually do the thing that I'm resisting doing.
Yeah, like courage is kind of like that forward motion that you tell yourself, like, come on, let's go do it. Like, I gotta go do this. You know? Not gotta go like, oh, I don't want, I have to. No, but like, let's go do this. Let's move this forward.
That's like, courage. And maybe the I don't want to is actually modulated by your self-control. Mm-hmm. Because there will be an impulse that says, I don't want to go do this. Mm-hmm. It's so cozy in bed. I don't want to have to do the hard thing right now. And so that's why we need the self-control mechanism, so that we can make the decision to get up and do it. And then as we're getting up and doing it, we're exercising courage during that time. And if we're seeing a situation clearly, then we're also acting in just ways as we go to do the hard thing.
Yeah.
And all of this is what
Like
he's
a
talking
system.
about,
It's
is
like
a system of goodness.
Of goodness, yeah. System of goodness.
Huh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because any of these deviates from it, and now it's kind of not a goodness, because now you have like, well, no, like just like, no, it should just go based on me. Well, now you don't have as much goodness. Now you have this selfishness and this weird out of balance situations, right?
Yeah. So I'm seeing these ones as almost like, they're all interrelated, and they're kind of like all dialed into each other. And I could be, I need to pay attention to the dialing of each one of them and try to maximize it seems like. I don't know if there's a way to like overdose in these areas, but these areas seem pretty well balanced.
Mm-hmm. You could become like someone might say like a workaholic, maybe.
Then I would argue you have a lack of self-control if you're a workaholic.
Yeah, but people might see it. No. I have extremely good control because I can keep going with this thing. But maybe the balance between your life and other things in your life are off.
Because whatever's driving you to become a workaholic is based on some weird way of looking at the world. So it's not. There's a high degree of ignorance.
Like I have to keep making more because I am the
unworthy or
something.
Or unhappy, and I need to distract myself from that.
I don't know who said that there was like if you want to feel worthy, like if you have this kind of a need to feel worthy, is like it's super dangerous to become a doctor, to become a physician, because you are then constantly surrounded with people telling you are worthy, you're so good, you're so we need you. Right, you need it, and now you're in this world, and you're like, oh, I'm needed. Now you come. I think it was Mate.
It was Gabor, yeah.
Gabor Mate.
I remember him saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, you get stuck in this like you get the satisfaction from that surrounding world and saying you are important, and therefore you say, well, then I have to keep going over there all the time, always, because I'm important there. And you get the dopamine from doing those good things, and it creates a out of balance a thing. It creates something that's out of balance. So anyway, keep on. That's the fourth one.
Keep going. Then we're gonna read Ryan.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's read Ryan. Mm-hmm. Is it that controversial to say that there are the things that people value and pressure you to value as well, and there are the things that are actually good? Or to question whether wealth and fame are all they are cracked up to be? As Seneca observed in one of his plays, if only the hearts of the wealthy were opened to all, how great the fears high fortune stirs up within them. For centuries, people have assumed that wealth would be a wonderful cure-all for their unhappiness or problems. Why else would they have worked so hard for it? But when people actually acquired the money and status they craved, they discovered it wasn't quite what they hoped. The same is true of so many things we covet without really thinking. On the other hand, the good that the Stoics advocate is simpler and more straightforward. Wisdom, self-control, justice, courage. No one who achieves these quiet virtues experiences buyer's remorse.
Yeah, for sure. And those are, you can also look at it like that's something one might regret later in life. It's these four things, like I wasn't one of these four things. You might have some sort of like like, oh, I wasn't able to figure out this thing that was one of the very good virtues to orient your life around. So it's good. It's like a good reminder to like, hey, it's not too late, but it's we have to work on it. Yeah, because it's otherwise that the life is so fast, and then you look back and you're like, damn, like I could have been living differently through different glasses or different virtues or different principles or something, which would have maybe made the life better throughout the experience, and then also at the end of like achieving, like feeling good about that whole thing of like, hey, I lived through these virtues, and I feel good about that. Yeah.
I imagine living with these, according to these virtues, must produce better outcomes.
Yeah, it has to, of course.
And even if you were able to get some good outcome, like what he's talking about with fame or fortune or this other thing, by sort of cheating the goodness system and acting out of alignment with these virtues, he's also calling out this other phenomenon, which that you always feel emptier than you imagine. Like you imagine yourself to be so fulfilled by something, and then you get the thing and it's a really empty experience. So even though you got the desired outcome, you actually didn't, because in your mind the desired outcome was like, I will get rich and all my problems will disappear. And then you get rich and you realize, oh well, fuck, I still have all my problems. So versus living by this is almost giving you a rubric for handling your problems and handling them in a way that you are proud of and that is connected into the goodness of other people and the goodness of the collective.
Yeah.
Which on the other side of it, even if you don't end up getting rich or famous, it will likely be much more fulfilling. And that's what he's talking about with the regret.
Yeah. And it's interesting because like I was just kind of thinking how like, well, that we don't have control over, right? Like I can control if I get rich or famous, but I can't control to live by these virtues or something, right? So then it's like instantly today, I can start today, but chasing some sort of richness or famous, that seems like kind of like I don't necessarily know what to do today, right?
Yeah.
Or what virtues to live by in order to get rich or famous, right? And this is definitely the more fulfilling way of living, without maybe rich and famous, but still fulfilled more than, because fulfilled is kind of like that. I'm just kind of taking that word back because. Like there's such a weird, it's such a broad word, like fulfilled, like what does it mean, being happy, being satisfied, being
maybe like the subjective sense that somebody has about whether their life has been a good life. Yeah, but like right, congruently saying this was great, not lying to myself, but like really feeling like that was good. Yeah. Awesome. Let's do it.
Da, 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 da.
On Hitler's birthday,
Oh, ouch.
he could have used some of this.